And Wildcat Athletics is on the air. Matt Nelson with you from St. Paul. Wednesday night basketball coming your way tonight. Women's basketball in the MIAC on tjsportsonline.net. Who are we? Well, as always, our engineer, the very sharp-dressed man that he is, Glenn Thompson with his brand new glasses. Good to see him again, making us look good, pushing buttons and turning levers and doing all the hard work while the rest of us just sit here and talk. I'm Matt Nelson. So happy to be with you for tonight's matchup as Carleton College and the Knights, 4-13 on the season, 1-9 in the MIAC. Their lone win over Hamlin traveled to St. Paul to take on St. Kate's and the Wildcats. Let's get into it with our pregame show and hear from head coach Sean Pinkerton on tjsportsonline.net. On our pregame show, we bring you into the coach's office to catch up with Sean Pinkerton. Coach, we always look back before we look forward. Last time out on Saturday, you guys went up Snelling and got a nice win against Hamlin, and a big one. It snapped what had become a kind of a nagging losing streak at 6 games.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you get a win in this conference, a big win. Like you said, we just had to get one back in the left-hand column. And the kids played pretty well. We struggled to make some shots early on throughout the first 3 quarters. And part of our difficulty over the last several games where we hadn't been able to pull one out is we weren't closing games well. And so not only getting a win, but in the way we did, outscoring them 31-10 in the fourth quarter, I think was big for us to not especially shoot the ball well early on and then close the game out well.
You got to play good as a team to pick up wins in this conference, but I think basketball, maybe more than any other sport, whether it's on the diamond or on the gridiron or wherever it might be, lacrosse, I don't care, hockey, you name it. I just feel like in basketball, in a conference this good, you need your star players to really play up to close out those games like you mentioned. And you're getting improved play right now from Audra and Lachey. Talk some about that.
Yeah, and that was one of the differences, I guess, on Saturday. Both of them had nice games. Shea had 22. Audra had a double-double. I know she had 10 boards. I want to say
it was 18 and 10.
I think it was 18 and 10. So they both had really big games, and that's big for us. We've had some people step up significantly. Mari's been of late more confident shooting the ball from the perimeter. Meg this year is much improved with her offensive production, and so that's important. But yeah, you have to have a couple kids who are going to come out, and part of their role is to carry a significant portion of the scoring load. And so, you've got to have them. The only way you win games is to outscore the opponent. Mm-hmm. And so if we're struggling to get those kids or certain kids to carry a significant portion of the scoring load, yeah, it's gonna be real tough to win ball games.
What have you seen out of Carleton this season? Right now they're riding a losing streak of their own. They haven't cracked 40 points in their last 3 games. They're struggling to score. What have you seen out of them on film?
Yeah, they've had a rough go of it the last 3, but I think that's a situation where really anybody playing those last 3 games could have a rough go of it. They had to play Gustavus and Bethel and St. Thomas, which is
tough
obviously
run.
Yeah, that's a real brutal stretch in the schedule for them. But prior to that, they beat Hamlin, so they had a nice win over Hamlin. I think they put up 58 in that game. But yeah, they haven't been putting up huge numbers on the offensive end. They haven't been putting up big numbers, but they're scrappy defensively. They have kids who can hit the outside shot. Arima's an outside shooter. Okamoto, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, shoots it really well from the outside, but they've been missing her the last several games. I don't know what her situation is, if we can expect her to play tonight. Waldvogel shoots it well enough from the outside. You definitely have to contest her and get out on her. So they have kids who shoot it well enough from the outside that if they start hitting some perimeter shots, and then a kid like Esm on the interior can score the ball and is real tough on the block. They have the ability to put up some points. They've struggled to do it over the last 3 games.
Get you out of here on this one. I ask every coach this as you wind towards the home stretch of the regular season. Now we've come to the point where we've played enough games where I'm sure you have a clear sense of what the identity of this team is. And it's never the same, right? What your identity is in 13-14 is different in 14-15, and then, of course, in 15-16. What's the identity of this team from the coach's chair?
I think right now one of our struggles that we've had over this stretch is a really difficult time in defining our identity. And I think that's kind of where we're at, is we're struggling to consistently perform at a high level for the course of 40 minutes on both ends of the floor. You know, we'll have a quarter where we hold an opponent to 9, and then we'll give up 26 the next quarter. We'll have a quarter where we score 31, but the previous quarter we scored 10. So I think that's a little bit of our challenge right now is figuring out what our identity is, latching onto that, and being able to make that a consistent for us every night. So, you know, to be honest, I think the honest answer right now is that is yet to be determined 16 games into the season. So,
but it's important, isn't it, especially looking to the season that follows, to find it at some point?
Yeah, well, and it's important definitely for next season and for the remainder of this season. I think it's the sooner we can get to the point where we define ourselves as, you know, XYZ, whatever the case may be, and we take pride in, okay, this is something that we are going to bring to the table every single night for 40 minutes. That's your building block. You know, that's where you start from. That's a constant, and then you can start to really look to improve in other areas. But, you know, that's something we're struggling with right now.
Good insights as always, Coach. Best of luck tonight with Carleton.
Thank you.
Ben Nelson back with you alongside of Glenn Thompson, our engineer, who is the Donald Trump of engineers. Whether that's a good or bad thing, we'll let you, the listener, decide on this Wednesday night from St. Paul. It's Carleton College and the Knights, 4-13 on the season, 1-9 in the MIAC, taking on St. Kate's. It's Wildcats at a 500 mark of 8-8, 3-7 in the MIAC, fresh off of a losing streak, snapping 71-57 win on the road at Hamlin. Big night, I should say it was an afternoon. Big day for Audra Clark, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Lachey Holt, as good as ever, 22 points to go along with 8 rebounds. And again, it snapped a 6-game losing jag for the Wildcats. Reminder, folks, tonight's broadcast, a presentation of the University of St. Catharines and produced by TJ Broadcast Services. Our website, tjsportsonline.net. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you by Twin Cities Orthopedics, Elsmore Swim Shop, Universal Athletics, Northfield Lines, Push Pedal Pull, Midwest Vending, Best Western in Bloomington, Cone Elevators and Escalators. We can't forget also Wildcat supporters include Loeffler Business Solutions, McGo Construction, Dolan Printing, the Sodexo Group, U.S. Bank, Shapco Printing, Rachel Contracting, and the Opus Group. Starting lineups for both of these teams. First, for the visiting Carleton College Knights, Cassie Hoshiba is their head coach, 6th season. And the 9th starting lineup that she has used this year, you contrast that due to injuries. 9 starting lineups this season for Carleton College. For St. Kate's, they have had the same starting lineup for each and every one of their now 17 games. Starting lineup for Carleton College: Michelle Arima, 5'4", senior guard, Valencia, California; Sarah Waldfogel, 5'10", sophomore out of Minneapolis; CeCe Leone, 5'10", freshman, Fairfax, Virginia; Kyla Frank is a center, 6'1", sophomore, Tacoma, Washington; and Sarah Paller gets the start as well and wears number 10 for the Wildcats. Same starting 5 as they've had each and every game. Shauna Horsch, Mari Lee, Megan Audra Clark in the backcourt, and Kennedy Jennings joins Lee and Horsch in the front court. Wildcats, don't be fooled, not wearing the home yellows, instead the grays. Carleton, the road golds. And off we go. Wildcats again will defend in the now home grays, purple numerals and gold trim. Carleton, the gold jerseys piped in white and trimmed in navy. Out of the gate, the Wildcats will play defense, and it's an early shot on the way for Leon. That's long. Rebound for Shauna Horsch. And then Carleton comes up empty-handed on their first possession. Wildcats come down in transition. Clark had it stripped out of her hands by Rima, but it'll stay with the Wildcats as it rolled out of bounds over the baseline. Proud sponsor of Wildcat Athletics is Universal Athletic. They're passionate about fueling the dreams of athletes, and they put all their know-how into doing just that. Check them out, Universal Athletic. They dedicate their heart and soul to the support of sports, fitness, and health programs in the communities in which they serve here in the Twin Cities. Shauna Horsch, Mari Lee in the corner. Wildcats with the rock. No score early from St. Paul. Clark for Audra Clark. She drives it off the left-hand side wing, tries a floating layup. That's high off of the window, long, no good. And Cece Leon the rebound. Jennings tried to cut that pass off, knocked it out of bounds. Nearly a turnover for Carleton, but it'll stay with the Knights. Leon will inbound it with Arima and Paller right in front of her. You look at this lineup for Carleton, they've been decimated by injuries. Big reason why they're only 1-9 in the conference. In the preseason polls, they were picked to finish ahead of the Wildcats as they have an early bucket. And the first score of the ball game comes with 8:45 left in the first quarter. It's a 2-0 lead for the Knights. Clark has it. Back up top now, Jennings. She drives, had it stripped away. It's stolen away by the Knights. It's picked up by Sarah Waldfogel. So after the bucket by Frank, the Knights have it again, leading 2-0 with 8:24 left in the first quarter. They swing it around into the right-hand side wing. A drive there, Leon drives baseline up the right side. Her shot was blocked by Mari Lee. She got it back, but Kennedy Jennings stripped it right out of her hands. Jennings in transition, lobbed it right over the head of Meg Clark. A turnover for the Wildcats comes in transition as Jennings looked to push the pace, and it's Carleton's basketball. You take a look at the lineup. I mentioned the 9th starting lineup that Cassie Goshiba has had to use. Wendy Lowe out for the season, and Hamilton out for the season. They've missed 16 and 11 games respectively. Still don't know if Steenstra, Hull, or Okamoto will be back. They've missed 16, 6, and 5 games. And back in action after missing games, Surrey, Frank, Paller, and Arima. 4-0 lead. All 4 points coming from Frank for the Knights. The drive by Clark. Her layup was short. Rebound Knights. And here comes Carleton going the other way. Paller has it. Guarded by Clark. Now hands it off for Leon. Leon will drive baseline. She picks it up, guarded tightly by Jennings. Now Frank kicks it top of the key. A drive there with the left hand. Waldfogel walks it in and scores. 2 points for Sarah Waldfogel and a 6-0 lead for Carleton. And the Knights were 3 of 5 from the floor. St. Kate's has missed their first 2. Horsch looks down low. There's Mari Lee. One dribble. A kick. Wide open 3. Audra Clark. Long. Rebound Shauna Horsch. They'll reset the offense with a fresh shot clock. Backside. Mari Lee wide open. Her layup's no good, but she was fouled on the way to the rack. The foul's going to go against Kayla Frank, the sophomore out of Tacoma, Washington. Called for her first foul. It sends Mari Lee to the free throw line, where Mari shoots 84% on the season, averaging just under 7 points per game. First shot's good for Lee. Carleton's going to head into their bench. Sean Pinkerton will do the same. Lachey Holt will supplant Shauna Horsch. Nina Ezum will come in for Carleton, along with Manny Talamantes. Lee knocks them both down. It's 6-2, 6:50 left in the first quarter, and a 4-point lead for Carleton College and the Knights. Talamantes, left hand, guarded by Holt on the left-hand side wing. To the top of the key, Leon tried to get it down low. It's out of bounds, deflected off of the foot of the Wildcats. Number 45, Lachey Holt, who's done so much damage this season, playing just 23 minutes a game, averaging 16 points and 8 rebounds. Jennings harassing Leon on the top of the key. Got it for Talamantes. Top of the key, she goes, hands it off. Paller, 6 seconds to shoot. To the free throw line. Ezum got past Lee, but her shot was blocked Maria Lee blocked the shot, and trailing by 4, the Wildcats go the other way with it. Lachey Holt crashes into the lane. Her layup's off, but she was fouled, and Lachey Holt will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. The foul against Carleton is their second, and the first against Sarah Paller. Shauna Horsch will come in. Kennedy Jennings will go back to the bench for the Wildcats. And they're going to call that foul on the floor. I thought for sure free throws for Holt. Instead, she inbounds it. Lee misses a 3 badly, but Shea Holt got the offensive rebound and tapped it in for a layup. It's a 6-4 score now in the first quarter. Carleton led 6-0. Little mini 4-0 run here for the Wildcats. Esm down low, one-on-one with Lee. Her pass finds Leon, but before that a foul and a 3-second violation against Carleton is a turnover. Wildcats will have a chance to tie it with a deuce, take the lead with a 3. Trailing at 6-4, Lachey Holt, 16 points per game. That's 4th in the conference. And just over 17 points per game in conference play. That's 2nd in the MIAC. Clark drives with the left hand. Her shot was blocked. Telemontes got a hand on it and came up with it. 5:35 left in a slow scoring first quarter. These Knights are riding a long losing streak of 3 games, but they did beat Hamlin 58-56. Prior to the win over Hamlin, they had lost their last 5. Their last 3 losses, Gustavus, at Bethel, and at home against St. Thomas. They got shellacked at their last time out. 86-39 was the Tommy advantage. Horsch off the turnover, lays it up and ties us at 6. 10 points a game this season for Shauna. She has her first 2 inside of 5 minutes left in here in the first quarter. Carleton 3 of their first 6 shots. Leon has it, guarded by Lee on the high post right side. Defers for Michelle Arima. She'll drive it, go high off of the window. Her shot rattled in and out. The Wildcats got the rebound. Clark traveled with it, but got away with it. Audra Clark in transition. There she goes. Left hand layup is good and one. A foul against the Knights and a chance for a 3-point play for Audra Clark. It fouls the 3rd of the quarter against Carleton, and the foul is going to be assessed against Telemontes. Maddie Telemontes called for her first, and wholesale changes coming in for Carleton. They'll call 3 players back to the bench. And the free throw can give the Wildcats a 3-point lead. It does. Audra Clark finishes off the 3-point play. Audra averaging just under 13 points a game to go with 5.5 rebounds. As well, a 9-0 run for the Wildcats has them up by 3. Waldfogel. Caroline Hull, who's in for the first time, into the corner. Telemontes, now the post, kicks left side. 3 for Waldfogel is good. She knocked it down. They're going to call it a long 2. Pardon my calling it a 3. It's a long 2. 4 points for Waldfogel and a 1-point lead for the Wildcats. Audra Clark drives and got fouled. She was bumped by Kyla Frank off of her dribble. The foul against Frank is her 2nd, the 4th against Carleton. The Wildcats still haven't been called for 1. 3:55 left here in the first quarter. St. Kate's 3 of 8. Carleton 3 of 7. They made their first 3. Three-pointer's no good for Meg Clark. Nice looking rebound by Esm, who averages 6.5 of those per game. And a foul is going to be called in the backcourt against Meg Clark. First against the Wildcats as she was pressuring the basketball, and Esm in the backcourt. Esm, good-looking player, Berkeley, Illinois, 6-footer, a forward, sophomore, 7.5 points per game. I mentioned the 6.5 rebounds. She's playing in her 18th game, starting. She has started 9 ball games. Good shooter, 40% from the floor, does most of her damage where she has it right now in the paint. Nothing doing there, though, is guarded tightly by the Wildcats junior Jennings. That time it was Paller crashing into the lane, and she had it stolen away by Lachey Holt, who goes the other way and got fouled hard, bumped. The layup no good, but 2 free throws upcoming for Shea as she got fouled by Sarah Waldfogel. 5th foul against the Knights means bonus the rest of the first quarter for the Wildcats. Wildcats 3 of their first 9 points have come from the free throw line. Shea knocks down her first. On this, her first trip to the stripe of the evening. And Holt's second rattles out. Esm the rebound. 3 points so far tonight for Holt, who's shooting 62% from the line on the season. Much improved from earlier on in her career when she hovered around 50-50. One dribble from Hull. Now Paller has it. She goes to the left hand, and it's kicked out of bounds by Audra Clark. 3:04 left in the first quarter. Transporting Wildcat athletes, that's in the capable hands of Northfield Lines, Inc. They're dedicated to ensuring that your travel experience is a positive one. Call to request a quote or to make a reservation, 888-670-8068, or check out their website, northfieldlines.com. 10-8 lead for the Wildcats, playing defense here early in the first quarter. Esm had it poked away, got it back there. She feeds it up back up top for Hull. 7 seconds on the Knights shot clock. Tried to get it to Esm. Jennings stole it away, tipped it away. There she goes in transition. She'll take it all the way, but missed the layup. Esm pressured and has the rebound for the Knights. Jennings, a great defensive play, but couldn't finish it off going the other way. Bummer. For Jennings did all the hard work, flashed that athleticism, stole it away, got out in transition, and just couldn't finish off that layup. Those are the ones you want. That's the cherry on top of that stolen sundae. Oh, crossover dribble, and that time Lachey Holt got into the passing lane. She steals it. Early activity defensively for the Wildcats. Holt goes the other way, hits Audra Clark, who lays it up and in, and the Knights take a timeout. It's a 4-0 lead and a 12-2 run for the Wildcats. We break with 2:23 left in the first quarter. And Nelson back with you. You're from St. Paul MIAC Women's Basketball. Folks, put your trust in Dolan Printing. They want to keep your printing job within your budget. That's why they make sure you have access to accurate pricing quotes. Dolan Printing offers cost transparency so you can feel comfortable knowing that their premier services are affordable. Check out their website, dolanprinting.com. 12-8 lead for the Wildcats with 2:13 left here in the first quarter. Alexis Garcia is in, and she'll defend for the first time. Shauna Horsch now pressuring the basketball. Michelle Arima lost it. Another steal for the Wildcats. Audra Clark goes the other way. Arima picked it right out of her hands. Good bit of defense by this senior out of Valencia, California. Nicely done as these two teams trade turnovers. Six turnovers for the Knights, 3 for the Wildcats. Down low, Esm. Hard dribble, double teamed, and she threw it away. The Wildcats, Garcia and Jennings, force Esm into a turnover. She looks like she wants a breather. But they're going to leave her out there with 90 seconds left in the first quarter. Lachey Holt going to work offensively, walking right through the Carleton defense. Got by Esm and scored it. Good start for Lachey Holt. She's got 5 points. And the lead is 14-8, a 14-2 run for the Wildcats, who trailed 6-0 out of the gate here in the first quarter. Haller now for Esm. There comes Jennings out to defend it just inside of the arc on the left-hand side, and it's wing. CC Leon hands it off. There's Talamantes in the post, and her shot no good. But before that, a foul against the Wildcats inside of a minute left here in the first quarter. The foul goes against Shauna Horsch, the senior, called for her first, the second against St. Kate's. Rome will bring it in with a fresh shot clock. Arima will jack one up. That's off of the back of the iron and rebounded by Clark on the weak side. Arima just a touch strong with her try. Bit heavy, 49 seconds left. There goes Clark with the left hand. She lays it up and in. Audra Clark off to a great start. Audra has 7 of the Wildcats' 16 first quarter points. It's a 16-2 run. As the offense has gone cold for Carleton, 8 turnovers contributing to their offensive woes. Just 4 of 9 shooting. 44% is good, but having trouble not turning the basketball over. Baseline pass, Talamante's long 2. That rattles in. 15 starts this season for Talamante. She has her first 2 points of the night, averages that many per game. A dozen seconds left. Wildcats by 6. Lachey Holt can hold it for the last shot. Crossover dribble, now backs up, goes around a screen from Jennings to her left side. She'll pull it up from 9 feet out and knock it down. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Lachey Holt. And it caps off a great first quarter. Holt and Clark combined for 14 of the Wildcats' 18 points. And they lead at 18-10 through 10 minutes of basketball from St. Paul. You are listening to Wildcat Athletics on tjsportsonline.net. Bringing back in 18-10 lead for the Wildcats as the second quarter gets underway. Matt Nelson alongside of engineer Glenn Thompson. Cone US, they provide industry-leading elevators, escalators, auto walks, and innovative solutions for sustainable maintenance and modernization. Call their customer care center, 877-276-8691 to find their nearest office. Shauna Horsch, baseline drive, got it to the hole. Reverse layup, no good. Strong rebound under the basket for Carleton and CC Leon. 3.5 points per game for Leon, starting her fifth game of the season. Mentioned in the pregame, this is the 9th starting lineup for Carleton. Another steal for Lachey Holt. She goes on the steal and score. Now 9 points for Lachey. And the turnovers continue to mount for Carleton. That's their 9th. They led it by 6 at 6-0 as Mari Lee under the basket with her arms in the air is going to be called for a foul. Going around her was Catherine Miles, 6'1" sophomore, Park Ridge, Illinois, playing in her 13th game of the season, all off of the bench. And Miles will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 with the Knights trailing by double digits. First shot is good for Miles. These two teams played earlier this season at Carleton on the 9th of December, and it was a convincing win for the Wildcats, 59-45. Paced by a really nice fourth quarter that saw them hold the Knights to just 8 points, an 18-8 advantage in that fourth quarter for the Wildcats in that one. Audra Clark was huge, 16 points, 5 of 16 shooting. Lachey Holt as well at 8 points and 7 rebounds. Turnover this time for the Wildcats. It's stolen away. Paller going the other way. Left-handed layup set on the rack for hours before coming down into Lachey Holt's hand. Right-handed Eve Clark for leads. It's 22-11. So Mari Lee has 4 points. She averages 6.5 per game. Down low and an offensive foul. Now they're going to call it travel as they tried to get it into the post again for Miles, who will head to the bench. And Frank will come in. Kayla Frank checks in here at the Butler Center with 8:23 left in the second quarter. She was really good early. Scored 4 of those first 6 points for Carleton. Nice pass that time. Lee for Horsch. They caught the defense flat-footed as Shauna picks up the easy layup. She's got 4 points. It's all Wildcats. 24-11 is your score. If we want to keep talking about runs, it's a 24-5 run. Frank lost it, but it got scooped up by Waldfogel. Now Reba, whoa, she lost her defender and pulled it up from 7 feet out. Shots long. Lachey Holt, strong side rebound. Leans it into the front court with speed and got fouled. Paller came in and bumped Lachey Holt as she went over the arc. Paller called for her second foul and the first of the second quarter against Carleton College. Pass was tipped by Arima. Clark has it, now Holt. Kennedy Jennings swings it around. Garcia walks into a 3. That's short on the catch and shoot for Alexis Garcia. It's hard sometimes to hit those shots when you come in off of the bench. This season now she's just 8 of 33, below 25%. The 3-point percentage has suffered at a lower percentage. Love to see her get that shot going. She provides Sean with valuable minutes off of the bench. Frank against Jennings, got to the basket, but traveled on her way there. Traveling against Frank. A turnover for Carleton is their 11th. And with the Wildcats up 24-11, they get the basketball with 7 minutes left in the first half. Hey, at halftime, we're going to hear from Athletic Communications contact Sarah Eisenhower. She's heading on to a new career opportunity. She's staying in Division III athletics. She's going to be working for the UMAC conference, and she's one of our great friends and somebody who works so hard to make these broadcasts possible and to make them as close to listenable as possible with her notes and statistics. And we will really miss working with Sarah, and you'll hear from her at halftime. The reluctant interviewee, Sarah Eisenhower, I had to beg and plead. If it wouldn't be NCAA infraction, I would have had to pay her probably $10 or $15 just to get a couple of minutes with her. But I know that's a low ball rate, but enough to buy a lunch or something like that. Yeah, well, you're not alone on that one, Glenn. You couldn't hear it on air, but he just said that he cried when he heard we were losing our athletic communications friend, Sarah Eisenhower. You're not alone. I heard Corey Phelps, the volleyball coach, has been crying a lot lately. Eric Stacy, athletics director, has been crying a lot lately. But I think we've got a great replacement who's going to step into that job. Horsch missed on her try off of the high post. Carleton the rebound. Right now, checking the rebounding, pretty even. 11 boards for Carleton, 9 for the Wildcats, who have shot 50% so far in this one. Into the paint and off of the window was Telemontes. Maddie Telemontes has 4 of Carleton's 13 points. 5:46 left in the second quarter. Garcia back up top. Clark, quick passes, not much in the way of dribbling. Meg Clark 3, knocked it down. The first 3 of the evening for either team. Carleton hasn't even tried when the Wildcats knocked down their first in 5 tries. Meg Clark is on the board, 27% three-point shooter on the season. Has her first 3 points of the night, averaging 9 a game to go along with 4 rebounds. Frank's pass deflected, another steal for the Wildcats. Meg Clark's got it, 3-on-3. Clark drives, kicks Jennings. 10-footer is off, that's long. And the rebound to Michelle Arima. Valencia, California. Boy, what a great place to grow up for Michelle Arima before she found herself playing for Carleton College. Armbar is going to be called against Shauna Horsch, her second foul. Holt the rebound off of the miss. It goes the other way. 4:44 left in the second quarter. Clark up top. Jennings passed on an open 3. Mari Lee into the corner. Clark's going to get one wide open. Meg again. This time, though, it's off. Offensive board, Kennedy, Clark, Lee. Right side, Audra Clark again. Three. Got it that time. 10 points tonight for Audra. Clark leads all scores, and the Wildcats are dominating in this one. They lead it by 17. It's 30-13. Offensive foul against the Knights. Waldfogel, sophomore out of Minneapolis, called for her second. And boy, oh boy, the Wildcats trailed early 6-0, but they've really executed nicely offensively, and they've been getting a lot of points in transition off of those steals. .359 left in the second quarter. 30-13 your score. Clark down low. That's where Audra found Meg up and in, and a foul. A foul will send Clark to the free throw line. A chance for a three-point play. Hull called for her first foul. And Meg Clark with 5 points heads to the free throw line, can make it a 20-point lead. And Clark, very good free throw shooter. Meg, 77%. Audra right now leading in the Clark free throw race at 78%, but the lead is 20. Mentioned the game earlier this year. Carleton College got 13 out of Waldfogel and Arima in that loss. The Knights go down low and get a bucket in the paint. 3:30 left. It's 33-15. Esms on the board for the first time. Her 10th, I should mention, her 18th ball game this season. Good score. And she has her first. 33-15, and a rebound for the Knights hauled in by Telementes. She's a freshman out of Chatfield. Down low, and a foul is going to be called against the Wildcats. Bucket's no good for Leon, but she'll head to the free throw line as Carleton will go to the free throw line for just the second time tonight. And Leon, 3.5 points per game, is a 47% free throw shooter. She started her 5th ball game tonight of the season. And her first shot is good. And a timeout for Sean Pinkerton and the Wildcats. We'll do the same. It's been all Wildcats here tonight, 33-16 the score with 3:09 left in the second quarter. With Matt and Glenn, you're listening to Wildcat Basketball. Welcome you back in. Second shot for Leon, and she goes 2 for 2. Nice trip to the free throw line for a 47% free throw shooter. And the lead is now 33-17. 16-point lead. Jennings, one dribble, got it for Holt. She lost her defender. She's triple teamed, but went over all of them and scored on a layup. Lachey Holt stays hot. She's got 11 points. It was Audra and Lachey leading the way for the Wildcats on that win Saturday at Hamlin. And they're doing the same here today. Now another steal. Jennings going the other way with it. Lost it. Heaved it back. And Caroline Hull comes up with it for the Knights. That's the second time that Jennings has scooped away the basketball from Carleton on a steal and hasn't been able to go down and finish strong with a layup. 35-17. Knights have it. 15 seconds on their shot clock. Lachey poked it away. Another steal for the Wildcats. Lachey goes the other way with it, and a specialist at finishing off the steal and score. Lachey Holt caps it off. She's got a baker's dozen, 13 points. The lead is back to 20, 2:17 left in the first half. Whatever they said in that last timeout, it works. Defense is the story tonight for the Wildcats. Welcome you back in. It's Carleton College and St. Kate's tonight in MIAC Women's Basketball on tjsportsonline.net. And we've got a foul underneath the basket. Alexis Christensen is in for the first time, and she's going to be called for the foul as she got all kinds of tangled up underneath the basket with Sarah Waldfogel. So Christensen comes in, and the freshman out of Fairmont, Minnesota, is called for her first foul. Pass comes in quickly. Passing on a wide open one that time was Anna Suri, who's in off of the bench. This team goes really deep into the pine, and they've had to with all the injuries that they've had. Anna Leahy is in. Leahy hands off for Paller, playing with the 2 fouls. Turns it around. Frank passes on a 3, drives, played on a switch by Lee, and threw it away. It's another turnover for Carleton. This their 16th of the first half. Wildcats have only turned it over 5 times. Carleton has gone 11 players deep here. Clark for Christensen, surveys, goes down low. Lee spins, shoots, that's short. Rebound underneath the basket, Surrey. Minute 22 left in the first half. 20-point advantage for the Wildcats, keeping their foot on the accelerator. Leahy down low now. Waldfogel, her shot is off. Rebound Lachey Holt, pushing the pace. 3-on-1 now. Clark to Clark. It's a 22-point lead. And the Wildcats, inside of a minute left, have dominated these first 2 quarters. Audra Clark has been awesome. She's got a dozen. Lachey Holt has 13. That leads all scorers. Waldfogel, layup, long. Lachey Holt the rebound. That's her 7th board of the night. Shea lost her dribble, had it poked away from behind. Audra Clark came up with it. Left-hand drive. Kick. Meg thought about a 3. Now gets a screen from Christensen. Pulls it up from 13 feet out. And a rebound for Frank. Shot clock is down. Carleton can hold it for the last shot if they desire. Looks like they will. Seven seconds left to work with. Now Frank lost her dribble, got it back, went down low, and Paller got a wide open layup. Laid it up and in, and that's the final buzzer. So the Carleton College Knights do get a late bucket from Paller. That cuts the lead to 20, but we're dominated in the first half, and for a team that has struggled to score this season, more of the same here so far in the first half. Their last 3 games against really good competition, there's no doubting that. St. Thomas, Bethel, and Gustavus, they have not cracked 40. They scored 19 in the first half. It's halftime. We'll take a short break. We'll hear from our sponsors, as well as Sarah Eisenhower, a friend from Athletic Communications, who's moving on to a position with the UMAC. That's in a couple of minutes here from St. Paul. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball. 39-19 your score at the half. Cats over Knights. Bring it back into the Butler Center. It's halftime. The Wildcats played a great first half, and they lead Carleton 39-19. One of the driving forces behind our broadcast behind the scenes is our friend Sarah Eisenhower, a great person to work with, a great friend as well to both myself. And she even puts up with Glenn, our engineer, which is, yeah, when she has to, when she's forced to, coming in. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that, Glenn. They're definitely number 1 in her books. But she's on to a new position. We will miss working with her, and the reluctant interviewee that she was, she allowed us to sit down for an 8-minute conversation here at halftime. So let's hear from our friend Sarah.
the Wildcats of St. Kate's hosting Carleton tonight in women's basketball on TJ Sports Online. Special treat for the listeners as we sit down with Sarah Eisenhower. You've heard her name an awful lot on our broadcast over these past few years. I'm sitting next to a nervous Sarah Eisenhower who's going to be minding her ums and her uhs as we navigate through this interview. And I'll tell you what, Sarah, if you hold back on the uhs and the ums and the uhs, I'll hold back on the tears for you leaving St. Kate's. First of all, congratulations on this great opportunity. When was it that you started here at St. Kate's?
I started at St. Kate's in August of 2012.
Which is crazy because that's, more than 3 years ago, and it feels like it was just yesterday. How was it that you came about working in athletic communications and wound up here working for Eric and for the Purple and Gold?
Sure, I was a student athlete at St. Mary's University, and
a fierce hockey player, right?
I tried to be fierce when I could. After finished playing hockey, had applied for some jobs, and one of them was an internship at the MIAC office, and the athletic director at St. Mary's really pushed me to consider it, so I took the interview and ended up getting an internship for very little pay. It was a really good experience, and kind of decided that I really enjoyed Division III athletics, having been a student athlete. Took an internship a year later at McAllister College, working in communications, game management, getting a lot of different experiences, and jumped right in at St. Kate's the year after that. So it started a lot sooner than I thought it would.
Yeah, and they threw you right into the fire. Before you know it, you're keying volleyball stats and going to basketball games. There's nothing like that on the hockey rink over at St. Mary's. What are some of your fondest memories of your time here working with St. Kate's?
I think for me, the best times are when I get to be at games and kind of experience the exciting moments. I think specifically with basketball, just because that's what we're doing right now, is this program's grown so much in the 3.5 years I've been here, and to see the amount of time and work that our athletes have put in every day to make this place better. Our department as a whole has really grown because of the student athletes who have really bought into working hard, and buying into the philosophy that our coaches are pushing with them, and our programs are getting a lot stronger. We're competing a lot better in most sports in the MIAC, which has been really fun to be a part of that and kind of feel like you've had an impact on that. And just my direct interactions and working with student athletes on a regular basis is probably the things I'll miss the most, for sure.
We're catching up with Sarah Eisenhower, our dear friend who is moving on from her time at St. Kate's. We'll talk about your new opportunity here in just a moment. It's Carleton and St. Kate's. We're at halftime in St. Paul on this Wednesday night of women's basketball in the MIAC. You talked about some of your favorite memories working with student athletes. You're a great supporter and advocate of women's athletics. There's no question about that. What are you most proud of what you accomplished here in your just over 3 years in telling that story of Wildcat sports?
Sure. I think for me, and I actually have been asked this question a lot in the last couple of days, and I think the biggest thing would be that when I started here, there was quite a few different individuals who were piecing together sports information efforts, running the website and keeping statistics. And when I was hired, it was all put on one person, which it was a lot of responsibility to take on for a lot of things I had no experience in. So it was a lot of learning on the curve, a lot of really late nights figuring out how to fix basketball box scores at midnight, and but I definitely have had the experience of doing a lot of different things that most sports information directors don't do on a regular basis, just because of the situation we have, and feeling like we are to a place where we do just as well as a lot of our other schools in the MIAC do with their efforts for sports information, whether it be social media, running our website, having good statistics, and covering our sports equally, which is really important to me. So I'm very proud of the fact that I think in a short amount of time I've taken things to kind of the next level where there's an opportunity for other people to step in and, make things a little bit even better than it is now. So kind of leaving my mark on St. Kate's that way.
No question, you've left a legacy of athletic communications prowess over here on campus. What about this new gig? We want to know about the new gig and this great new opportunity. We're very happy for you.
Sure. I accepted a position as the assistant commissioner of the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference, so the UMAC. So just down the street on the campus of Northwestern in St. Paul. So similar to the MIAC, the UMAC is a Division III conference. So we compete against a lot of those schools here at St. Kate's, actually. So I'm really excited to kind of move into a position that allows me to continue doing what I'm doing now, working with sports information, but from a conference perspective, working on branding and marketing, specifically for a conference that's really grown a lot in its membership in the last few years and wants to kind of take that next step into the area of marketing. So I'm excited to work with that. And then it's also an opportunity for me to kind of take the next step in my career in collegiate athletics in working in administrative areas a little bit more than I have here, and be able to kind of work with championships and compliance and working with coaches, athletic directors, presidents, faculty in different aspects of conference management. So,
and you get to put that big title on that LinkedIn page. That's not bad
that's
either.
That's part of it too, for sure. It's definitely looks a little different. The hours are a little bit more regular, but there's exciting times with championship events, and I'm excited to just try something new. A new adventure is always a little bit scary, and leaving a place you really like is going to be a lot more difficult than I anticipated it would be, because I love being here. But
and of course, leaving behind our engineer Glenn Thompson
is leaving you and Glenn will be difficult for sure.
What can you tell us about the new athletic communications contact here at St. Kate's? She just met her a moment ago. First day on the job. Yep. Kind of reminded me of somebody 3 years ago. First day on the job.
Yeah. So Kelsey comes to us from the conference office for the last year, where she's been an intern, and she has had a lot of experience as a student at St. Norbert College in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where she was a student assistant in sports information. So she's got tons of experience with statistics. She's really fun and exciting and brings great ideas. So she'll definitely be able to step in and kind of take over where I'm leaving off, because leaving in February is not ideal in this position. So we are really fortunate to have somebody who can come in and is excited and has St. Mary's connections as well. Her dad was a baseball coach there for a long time. So I'm excited to be handing it over to someone like her.
Well, we're looking forward to working with her, getting to know her more, and we're glad that you're just up Snelling here in case we need to call in for some help with stats or something, those late night stats sessions. But it's been great working with you. Best of luck. Once again, Sarah Eisenhower, if I've said anything remotely resembling intelligent over the past 3 years, it probably came from your notes. So thank you for all of your hard work and dedication to this institution and its athletics programs.
Well, thank you, and I'm sad to leave, and it's been fun working with you. So thanks for making St. Kate's even better.
Go Cats!
Go Wildcats!
All right, there you have it. Sarah Eisenhower, our athletic communications contact and counterpart here at St. Kate's, just has done a phenomenal job representing this institution. Its student athletes, has worked really, really hard to bring this thing forward a long way, and I think definitely has left it in much better shape than she found it. And that's all you can ask of somebody when you hire them for a job, and when they get a great opportunity, you send them on their way to go kick butt and take names at their next stop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure she'll be in touch, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from her in the not-too-distant future. It's halftime at the Butler Center. It's been all Wildcats, a treat for St. Kate fans. It's 39-19, a 20-point lead for Sean Pinkerton and his Cats. It's the half, 20 more minutes of basketball to go when we come back from the Butler Center in St. Paul. Bring it back, ready to get started here in the third quarter from St. Paul. Matt Nelson alongside of engineer Glenn Thompson. 39-19, the advantage for the Wildcats as we head into the third period here. Reminder, folks, check out all of these sponsors. They do a great thing in supporting Wildcat athletics. They make these broadcasts possible as well as enhance the student-athlete experience. Next time you're in the Twin Cities, whether it's for shopping, sports, visiting, or that weekend getaway, why wouldn't you stay at the Best Western Plus Bloomington Hotel? It's just across Kilburn Drive from the Mall of America. Their professional staff specializes in true hospitality, gorgeous decor throughout, and the best in-house dining at the Red Rosa Italian Grill. Visit www.bestwesternbloomington.com for details. First foul of the second half belongs to the Wildcats and Kennedy Jennings. She got called for her second. Just 15 seconds into the second half. If you're joining us late, defense was the name of the game in the first half for the Wildcats, and you can see them harassing the dribbler, walking her way in on the baseline. Waldvogel scores. She has 6 points, but steals 10 of them in the first half for the Wildcats. 4 for Lachey Holt and 4 for Kennedy Jennings. Really great defense, and they scored off of that defense. 16 of 34, 47% shooting in the first half for St. Kate's. Audra Clark, baseline drive, tried to get it to Mari Lee. And I must be having some kind of a brain freeze or something like that as the weather gets a little bit colder in St. Paul. I keep wanting to say Kristen Lee, her older sister, who also played for the Wildcats. That doesn't often happen to me. Maybe, could it be, Glenn, that my brain is deteriorating on this Wednesday night right before our eyes? Clark outside. Meg Clark will jack up along three, long, rattles all over the place. Rebound tipped into the hands of Horsch, and she's able to lay it up and in. Shauna Horsch with 6 points, and the lead back up to 20. What's that now? Becoming a senior teenager. Well, I will be a dad come April, so I can always blame lack of sleep 3 for Carleton. That's an air ball. That's the first one of those they've tried, and it didn't go well as Paller tried that one off of the right side. 8:29 left in the third quarter. Shapco Printing, a full-service print solution provider. They produce the highest quality print communications reliably and consistently for customers all across the globe. Shapco, they've received numerous awards from a variety of prestigious organizations. Located at 1109 Zane Avenue North in Minneapolis. Check them out on their website, shapco.com. Mari Lee up top. Horsch, open 3 off of the side of the rim and rebounded on the weak side by Talamantes. In transition, there goes Talamantes. Her shot was blocked by Horsch out of bounds, but it will stay with Carleton. Wildcats won the first meeting between these two teams by 14 points. Right now, that lead and then some at 20. Quick pass in. Frank, one-on-one. Horsch got help from Lee, went through it though and scored. It's Frank, Kayla Frank, with 6 points. Frank starting her 10th ball game of the season. There goes Clark, and she's going to be fouled and shoot 2. Arima is going to be called for the foul for Michelle, her first. And with 7:51 left in the third quarter, Clark goes to the free throw line with the Wildcats up 41-23. Audra, 78% free throw shooter, already with a dozen points on the evening. First free throw is long. Wildcats now 5 of 7 from the free throw line, make it 6 of 8. As Clark knocks down her second. 13 points now for Audra. The lead's 19. Jennings tips that one into the hands of Audra Clark. Another steal. Clark cautiously into the front court. 2 dribbles, picks it up, goes down low. Jennings wide open with the right hand, finishes it off. And I'd imagine very gratifying for Kennedy Jennings, who's had a couple of difficulties on some short layups. She's able to finish that one down the baseline. Frank into the post. Haller, corner, 3 on the way for Carleton. Another air ball. They've airballed both of their 3s tonight that they've attempted. Audra Clark stutter steps it into the front court. Still haven't seen Shea here in the second half. I'd imagine we'd see her shortly on one of these next few whistles. Horsch, Jennings swings it around right side. There's Meg Clark. Ari Lee. One dribble. Audra Clark now goes to the left hand, drives it into the paint, layup short. She's able to tap her own rebound out of a barrage of yellow jerseys, but eventually Waldvogel came up with it for Carleton. Free throw line controlled by Waldvogel. Back up top. Knights trailing big. 3. That's short for Arima. Rebound Horsch. Shauna tonight her third rebound to go along with 4 points in transition. Lee 3 knocked it down. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Mari Lee has 7 points, surpassing her season average of 6.8 per game. 7 is still more than 6.8, right, Glenn? Okay. And that surpasses her season average. Frank, defensive breakdown left Frank wide open. 5 feet out, and Kayla Frank has 8 points. 46-25 lead for the Cats. We will see Lachey Holt at the next whistle. Audra Clark, nice spin move. And a layup off of the glass. Audra Clark, another nice night against the Knights. She's got 15 points. The first meeting between these two teams back in early December, she had 16. 48-25, nice lopsided victory. Kennedy Jennings, another steal, her 5th. Now, 3rd time going to be a charm, right? Yes. Kennedy Jennings has 4 points, 5 steals, and that time she's able to finish off the steal and score. 25-point lead forces a Carleton timeout. Timeout on the floor. We'll take one on the broadcast as well. All Wildcats in St. Paul. Matt and Glenn back with you for Wildcat Basketball. They're based on St. Michael, Minnesota. Another proud sponsor of Wildcat Sports is Rachel Contracting, heavy civil contractor performing earthwork, demolition, environmental utilities, and alternative energy site work. A team of professionals with over 150 years of collective experience, nearly as old as Glenn Thompson. For more info, visit their website, rachelcontracting.com. Out of the timeout, Carleton knocks down their first 3 of the night. Michelle Arima, just over 9 points per game for Arima, who's battled injuries this season. She has her first 3 points of the night. Arima has missed 4 games. The Wildcats come down and answer it with a bucket of their own with 4:44 left here in the third quarter. So Arima knocks down the 3-pointer. Wildcats come down and answer it with a jumper from Lachey Holt. Wildcats by 24. 4:27 left in the third quarter. Horsch will defend. Talamantes. Back up top, Arima. Crossover dribble. Boy, she got her right by Meg Clark. Took her to school, but couldn't finish the layup. Horsch pass. Got it to Audra, who's able to save it right off of her backside. Got it to Lachey Holt, who will go in transition and get fouled. The foul against Esm will send Lachey Holt to the free throw line, and that's where you like to see her. Somebody with her athletic ability should be living at that free throw line, shooting 62% on the season. Shea goes to the line to shoot 2, already with 13 points on the night. Knocks down her first. Really nice night for Lachey Holt. 7 of 7 from the floor. Now 2 of 3 from the free throw line. And Lachey goes 2 for 2. So Lachey now is 17 points, 7 of 7 from the floor. Just really being more efficient of late in her play, especially on the offensive end of the floor. Fowler had it. Arima now 7 seconds to shoot, guarded by Clark. To Ezum at the free throw line. She somehow got by Mari Lee and scored it. Ina Ezum with 4 points. He averages 7.5 per game. Wildcats in transition. Lachey for Meg. Back for Shea. Top of the key. She'll barrel her way into the free throw line. Garcia's in off of the bench. Back for Shea. No look pass goes to the right side. Meg Clark, three-pointer short. Rebound, Sarah Paller. St. Kate's is led by as many as 26. Carleton got out to a 6-0 lead. That's their biggest lead of the night. Ezum. Arima, 5 seconds on the shot clock. That ball was kicked by Meg Clark. They'll tag 10 seconds back onto the shot clock. Well, 15, it was at 5. So the shot clock will reset to 15. Loeffler Companies offers efficiency, flexibility, productivity, speed, and quality support for all of your office technology needs. Ezum, no good, rebounded by Horsch. From copiers, printers, and managed print services to phone systems and IT solutions and much more. Contact Loeffler to learn more. Serving the Twin Cities, St. Cloud, and Northfield areas as well as western Wisconsin. Three-pointer off for Clark. Rebound tipped. Garcia came up with it. Holt top of the key off of the pass by Garcia. Floater well off to the left. And rebound Arima. Arima out of Valencia, California. She's got company on this roster. Hull from Studio City. Okamoto from Altadena, California. She started 6 ball games this year. Going the other way in a foul as Shauna brought it into the front court. Is the 3rd foul of the night against Waldvogel. On this roster, Wendy Lowe from Los Angeles, California. I mentioned Arima, Valencia. This roster has players from Wisconsin, Washington, Maryland, Minnesota, Colorado, Illinois, Virginia, and Anna Suri is from the United Kingdom. And you got Paller from Brooklyn, out there in New York. So, geographically diverse roster, but right now they're trailing by 24 points. Wildcats 54, Carleton 30 on tjsportsonline.net. Bring it back. Wildcats have the ball up by 24 with Garcia, Holt, Jennings, Lee, and Horsch. Garcia, 2 dribbles. Now Shea, who's had a great night. Lee, nifty pass down low for Jennings, who finishes it off. Kennedy Jennings, a little reverse action on the layup. She's got 6 points. For Kennedy, averaging exactly that on the season. 6 points and 5 rebounds. She's been stellar defensively tonight as well. Ezum underneath. Layup no good, but she'll shoot 2 free throws. A foul against Mari Lee. Junior Dawson, Minnesota, called for her 2nd. Foul situation right now. Horsch with a couple. Lee has a pair of fouls. Christensen with 1. Clark has 1. And Jennings a pair. Esm's first free throw is good. 65% on the season for this sophomore. She goes 2 of 2. Holt with the basketball, 7 of 8 tonight. 17 points, but right now though, Shauna a 3. Kind of short-armed it, missed it short. Rebound Esm. Shauna 3 for 8 on the night. Wildcats haven't shot the ball particularly well, especially from long range. They've shot a good percentage, especially off of all those steals, 48%, but just 2 of 12 on the long ball. These two teams have combined 3 of 17 on their three-point shots. Foul against Kennedy Jennings, her third on the floor. Fresh shot clock in the ball for Carleton. 67 seconds left in the third quarter. Rima for Esm, quickly double team. Tried to get into the corner, but out of the reach of Telemonte's. Turnover for Carleton is their 20th. Has not been their sharpest night offensively. But barring a real offensive letdown, they should eclipse 40 for the first time in their last 4 games. They were held under 40 by Bethel Gustavus and St. Thomas. Team that really laid a walloping on them in their last time out. Holds 3, that's way off to the right. Battle for the board. Esm, Horsch, all at the bottom of that pile. Jump ball, possession arrow with the home team. The Wildcats, they'll keep it up 56-32. Got a stoppage and play and some laughs going on, not sure.
They're going to screen in at the bottom now, okay? Get fooled on the slips. Watch the slip.
Not sure exactly what had happened.
14. Watch, you got everything good.
But they've got it figured out downstairs, so 14 seconds left on the shot clock. And 43 seconds here left in the third quarter. Garcia for Horsch. Stares at a couple of defenders. Zone defense from Carleton. We've seen a lot of that all night long. Horsch, pump fake, kick, lead, 3. That's short. Rebound, Shauna Horsch. No shot clock and game clock. Jennings. Wildcats can hold it for the last shot. 22 and change on the game clock, 21 on the shot clock. So about milliseconds difference, couple hundredths of a second. Horsch for Jennings. Horsch will let it fly from the top of the key. That's long. Rebound Lachey Holt. One dribble, kick outside. Mari Lee passed on a wide open 3. Garcia got it to Shauna inside of a second left. The last second heave is no good. And we go to the fourth quarter. 56-32 is the score. The Wildcats led by 20 at the half. And they take a 24-point lead into the fourth quarter. 10 minutes to go from St. Paul. Wildcats look like they're well on their way to going above 500, but they'll have to finish it out in the fourth over the Knights. Wildcats have used 8 players tonight. Carleton has gone 11 deep. 56-32 your score. 10 minutes left from St. Paul. I'm Matt. Our engineer is Glenn. Man who only buys the nicest of flannel shirts, plaid shirts, whatever you'd like to call them. but it's all in the name of fashion, not just to stay warm. A hipster engineer to the bitter end. Carleton's got the rock out of the quarter break, and Frank walks it around the defense, lays it high off of the window. She's led the charge offensively for Carleton. She's got 10 points, their lone player in double digits. It's 56-34, and a foul is going to be called against Carleton, and Clark will go to the free throw line. Meg will shoot a couple. The foul belongs to Sarah Paller, her third. Meg Clark to the line. Haven't heard much from Meg tonight. 6 points. She averages 9 a game, but shoots 77% from the free throw line. First shot is good. 7 points for Meg. 2 for 9 from the floor is Meg. 1 of 6 on the three-pointer, so she's tried her hand at 6 three-pointers. Did knock one of them down. And this is her second trip to the free throw line tonight. She goes 2 for 2. Clark's got 8 points. It's 58-34. Elsewhere around the conference tonight in women's hoops, St. Mary's hosting Augsburg out in Winona. Bethel at home against Gustavus. Some scores to report. Concordia is home in Moorhead playing St. Olaf. They're in the second quarter there, and Concordia is holding on to a 16-10 lead. Hamlin is at home playing St. Ben's. Right here in St. Paul, just up the block. In fact, there's a rebound and a putback for Carleton. It's Paller with 4 points. Clark walks it up the other way. Garcia for Christensen, who's in off of the bench. Right here in town, St. Thomas is at home playing McAllister. A little St. Paul showdown there. 55-30 lead for the Tommies. No surprise in that one. Wildcats go down low, get a bucket underneath the basket. Their lead is back to 24, and there's a timeout on the floor. 9:02 left in the ball game, and we will break with the players. The layup is good for Garcia, assist to Audra Clark, and we step aside. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball. Wildcats 8-8, 3-7 in the conference. The Knights 4-13, 1-9 in the MIAC. They were picked in the preseason poll to finish 9th in the conference with 41 votes. St. Kate's was picked to finish 11th, but injuries have really ravaged the Knights. That's why I mentioned 9 different starting lineup combinations for their head coach, Cassie Goshiba. Hitting the floor hard underneath the basket that time was the Knights player. She's up. It was Frank, and she really took a nasty bump. And the coaching staff will take a look at Kayla Frank, sophomore, Tacoma, Washington. 6'1", listed as a center. Good night tonight for Frank. 5 of 6 from the floor for those 10 points, and has the 3 rebounds to go along with it. And the training staff will take a look at her. She really took a nasty bump off of that hardwood. And we certainly hope she's all right. It looks like she was, but that just, any way you slice it, really hurts. Really hurts, there's no doubt. Garcia 3, off to the left. Rebound Clark. Kicked back outside, Alexis traveled. And Carleton's gonna have to go a little bit deeper into their bench with the injury to Frank. We're going to send in Lynn Daniel, Lafayette, Colorado. 5'10" sophomore, forward. For Lynn Daniel, she's playing in her 13th game. Averages about 4 minutes per contest. 8:16 left, 3 out of the corner. That's short. Garcia battling for the board, and she was fouled by Lynn Daniel, fresh in off of that bench. Daniel called for her first, the second against Carleton here in the fourth quarter. So going back to a long story longer, St. Thomas is all over McAllister at halftime. Concordia at home against St. Olaf. Early lead for the Cobbers. No scores. Augsburg on the road taking on St. Mary's. Hamlin at home against St. and Bethel at home hosting Gustavus. Long cross-court pass. A drive, kick into the corner. Audra Clark, three-pointer, short, rattles Out, Meg Clark the rebound. Now Audra drives the lane with the left hand, hands it off. The shot was blocked by Esm. As the shot was put up by Mackenzie Mace, who had a big grin on her face. Mace doesn't play often, and you learn quickly that when you get into these game situations, that shot's got to be just a hair quicker than it is in practice. These players will explode, and they're like vultures going for those block shots. Clark, Christensen, Lee, extra pass. Meg Clark has struggled with the three tonight. Defers for Mari Lee. Now Audra, left side wing. Three-pointer short. Boy, the Wildcats can't buy a three-pointer. Neither team can tonight. The Wildcats are 2 of 18 on their three-pointers. That's about 10% or so. Then Carleton 1 of 6 on their three-pointers. So collectively, these two teams and the now 19 players, check that, 20 players who have played. There's Mace in transition. That shot is long. They have combined for 3 of 24. 3 of 24 on their three-pointers. Wildcats 11%, Carleton 16%. Wildcats fortunate to have such a wide margin. Boy, Esm a couple of times has really gotten the better of Lee defensively. Got by her, got fouled, laid it up and in, and Esm with a chance at a three-point play. Esm's a good player, sophomore. It's been fun watching her and Lee going at it. Sean Pinkerton's going to reach deeper into his bench and send out Kelsey Olson, Bemidji, freshman, 5'10". More seldom used player. Kelsey Olson playing in her 6th game. Has only played 19 minutes on this season. 2 of 7 shooting the basketball. So that's what's going on the women's side. On the men's side, Concordia's at home playing St. Olaf, and Concordia, a final and a nail-biter. 62-61 win for the Cobbers. They improved to 7-5 in the MIAC. That was out at Memorial Auditorium in Moorhead. And a hold's going to be called away from the ball against Carleton. A foul is the second of the night against Caroline Hall. On the men's side, St. John's 43-36 lead at home against Hamlin. Augsburg playing St. Mary's, Gustavus hosting Bethel, and McAllister, the men's side, at home against St. Thomas. Christensen, 3 is off. Rebound somehow found its way back to Christensen after Miles just fought to keep it alive. A jump ball as Mace got tied up. Mace has struggled since coming in off of the bench. Freshman, Redwood Falls, Minnesota, Redwood Valley High School. As Sean Pinkerton tries to find some playing time and some experience for these more seldom used players. 3 on the way. Olsen short. The Wildcats are now 2 of 19 on their three-pointers, and they still lead it by 21 points. 6:16 left. The only regulars on the floor are the 2 Clarks, backcourt players. They're flanked by Olsen, Mace, and Christensen. Kicked ball on Clark. Been a fun night, though. We heard from Sarah Eisenhower at halftime. She's heading to be the assistant commissioner over at the UMAC conference. It'll be fun getting to know Kelsey in athletic communications as she takes over the reins from Sarah, who's done a great job here with St. Kate's and has made us look good with some of her facts, stats, and knowledge. You don't know this sometimes, but I'm getting, if ever you hear a career high, a season high, anything like that, it's coming by way of a text message from downstairs and Sarah Eisenhower. So thank her for all of her hard work for these student athletes over the years. Christensen for Clark. Mace. Wildcats taking their time, not in any great hurry, nursing this large lead. Clark down low. There's Mace, laid it up and in. Nice. So Mace has a couple of points. It's 62-39 and a timeout taken by Carleton. We'll do the same. You're watching Wildcat Basketball on tjsportsonline.net on a Wednesday night from St. Paul. This game tonight has had a lot of good moments, but three-point shooting hasn't been one of them. Both teams have shot well from the floor, really, which is remarkable considering their ineptitude shooting the three-pointers. Both teams are shooting north of 40%, which is really good. There's another steal for the Wildcats. Shauna Horsch is back in. Her layup is short, but she got fouled, so Shauna will shoot a couple of free throws. When you consider the Wildcats are shooting 10.5% on their three-pointers, Carleton shooting just 16%, the fact that both teams are shooting north of 40% from the floor is pretty remarkable. 5 minutes left in the ball game. Horsch's first free throw is good. She's got 7 points. The foul was the third against Hull. Freshman out of Studio City, Kelly. And Horsch knocks them both down. Horsch averages 10 a game. She's got 8. 64% free throw shooter. Makes good on both of her tries. $25-point lead for the Wildcats. Carleton with the rock. They've just really struggled with their injuries this season. Their last time out, boy, they got 16 three-pointers dropped on them by St. Thomas. 86-39 was the final. The Tommies knocked down more three-pointers than they had in any game since going back to December 10th of 2008. That's the last thing Carleton needed taking on St. Thomas, was them to drop 16 bombs on them from three-point land. It's hard enough playing that team without them being scorching hot from three-point range. Telemantes, 3 is off. Lachey Holt the board. I think Sean saw enough of the reserves. He's back now to the only reserve player left in there, well, I guess, is Mace and Olsen, but now they've got good company, Holt, Lee, and Shauna Horsch. Lachey Holt got fouled again by Hull. Her 4th foul. The 5th against Carleton means bonus, and 2 shots for Lachey Holt. 16 points for Holt, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2. So far, 3 of 4 from the free throw line tonight. First free throw is good. She's really improved as a free throw shooter, and I was noticing a couple of these players that have improved their statistics as the season's gone along. Jennings pops out at you, especially. She was really struggling with that free throw shot early in the season. Now that's up to 59%. Holt second. Yes. Lachey Holt's got 18. She had 22 on Saturday against Hamlin. Audra Clark had 18. Both of those have had nice nights as well tonight. Shea's got 18 points and 10 rebounds. Hello, double-double. Audra Clark, 15 and 4 boards. 3:59 left. Into the corner we go. Driving out of the corner is Carleton, and they turn it over. Olsen heads the other way with it. With numbers, it's a 3-on-2. Olsen puts her head down. Her layup is short. Rebound Carleton. Like the aggressiveness, though, by Olsen. So many young players can be timid, especially in their reserve roles. Surrey had it. Back up top with it now. Backs it out for Hull. She goes against Shea. 3:30 left. Here from St. Paul. Next up for the Wildcats. They'll be on the road Saturday taking on St. Thomas. 3 o'clock tip-off in that one. The Tommies will look for some revenge after the Wildcats trumped them here at the Butler Center. What a win that was, 67-63 over Ruth Sin and her Tommies squad. That team, by the way, is 8-2 in the conference. One of their 2 losses against St. Kate's. So you know they'll have revenge on the mind in that one. Courtney Jix is in. First time we've seen Jix this season. It's the first time, yeah, just double checked it on the box score. I was going to say first time I've seen her. It's the first time anyone has. Her first appearance of this 15-16 campaign. Christensen nowhere to go, so she backs it out. Garcia. Now Mays traveled. So Saturday on the road taking on St. Thomas. Next Wednesday, 7 o'clock tip-off in Winona as the Wildcats will face St. Mary's. They played a close game here at the Butler Center that the Cardinals eventually won 71-67, but a game that the Wildcats felt that they should have won. We'll see if they can finish what they started next Wednesday, and then they'll be back home for three-game homestand. Augsburg on the 6th, UW Superior on Monday the 8th, and then on the 10th, St. Benedict's a 7 o'clock tip-off for that one. We will have the broadcast of all 3 of those ball games. I'll be here for 2 of them. Mike Gallagher will be here for the Augsburg game on the 6th. Free throw is good for Hull. Can't make that one on that Saturday, Glenn. I know you'll be missing me dearly, but you like Mike better? Yeah, that's what they all say. Free throw is good for Hull. You can have them as far as I'm concerned. And I really do mean that. I'm not even going to say what I was going to say. Let's just say he's a nice young man. How's that? If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. He's a nice young man. You guys kind of would make to me, you guys are the Donald Trump and Sarah Palin of broadcasting, if you will. If I had to say it, I hate to get political on a broadcast, but that speech I saw, I kind of reminded me, harkened back to my time with you and Mike. So you guys deserve each other as far as I'm concerned. But no, I can't make it out to that one. Three-pointer for the Knights there. They knocked one down. It is Paller. 7 points tonight for Paller. The lead still, though, 22 for the Wildcats as we play the string out on this one. And again, invaluable playing time for some of these more seldom used players like Mace. Her three-pointer is long. Rebound. Hauled in by the Knights. Nifty pass goes ahead and the layup's off. No good. Mace has got the rebound. Seems to be the most active of these bench players. And no starters out there with this group of 5 for the Wildcats. And again, for Carleton, you'll never know what might have been. The Wildcats are going to sweep the season series. But you look at the MIAC rankings for Carleton, 12th in points, 12th in defense, 12th in offensive field goal percentage, 12th in three-point percentage, rebounding margin 12th, steals 12th, turnovers 12th, so pretty much last in each and every category. But with the injuries they've had, you'll never know what this season could or might not have been. Mace knocks down her second, and she goes 2 for 2. A couple of points for Mace. She's got 4 on the night. And this is really something when you consider the progress of this program, that this team is going to improve to 9-8 on the season, a game above 500. For perspective on that, the Wildcats in all of last season won 10 games. They would have 9 after the win today. In 2013, 2014, they won 4 games. They would have 5 more than that once they finish off this win today. Nice little bucket for Olsen going the other way. In 2012, 2013, they won 2 games. They've won 9 after today's ball game. In 2011 and 2012, they won 1 game. So 1, 2, 3. You look at those season-long win totals, it's going to be not even February, and this team's going to have 9 wins. Any way you slice it, that's progress, courtesy of these players and their head coach, fourth-year man Sean Pinkerton. And another travel call against Olsen. 16 seconds left, 70-44 is your score. Taking a look at just some of your stars that jump out of you. Audra Clark had 15 points tonight, 6 of 14. Nice night for Shade, 19 and 10, 7 for 9 from the floor. Neither team could shoot the three-pointer. Carleton 2 of 8. St. Kate's 2 of 20, but both teams end up shooting higher than 40%. Carleton's going to wave the white flag, dribble this thing out, and that's your final buzzer. So, for Athletics Director Eric Stacy, for Head Coach Sean Pinkerton, for my engineer Glenn Thompson, I'm Matt Nelson, signing off as the Wildcats improved to 9-8 on the season. They're now 4-7 in the MIAC. Next up, St. Thomas for Carleton College and the Knights, 4-14 on the season now, 1-10 in conference play. Next up for the Knights, it's a home game against St. Mary's and the Cardinals. Tonight's broadcast, a presentation of tjsportsonline.net. And a reminder, check out all of our sponsors: Twin Cities Orthopedics, Elsmore Swim Shop, Universal Athletics, Northfield Lines, Push Pedal Pull, Midwest Vending, Best Western in Bloomington, Cone Elevators and Escalators, Loeffler Business Solutions, McGo Construction, Dolan Printing, the Sodexo Group, U.S. Bank, Shapco Printing, Rachel Contracting, and the Opus Group. 70-44 is your final. Nice win for the Wildcats. They've won 2 in a row. St. Thomas on Saturday. For Glenn, I'm Matt signing off. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go Wildcats!